Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over 15 new VR games that are dropping in April, and we have everything from the Rainbow Six style shooter Breachers making its way onto Quest Plus, to your very own personal pinball arcade system, a new horror survival title, and a massive DLC package to one of my all-time favorite VR games. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in...
Hey, do you like New York City? Do you like trains? What about virtual reality? Do you like simulations? Well then I got the game for you.
Forget about it. Welcome aboard the Metro Transit Authority, where I'm gonna ham up my New York accent and let you know all about driving trains throughout Manhattan and the Bronx. There's real life trains to learn the control. Look at this one, it's the M3A. Look at this one, it's the M7A. This is some fully immersive VR gameplay that recreates New York's iconic railway. There's some meta exclusive features like your very own New York apartment that'll only run you $3,500 a month. What a steal! There's a thrilling and challenging gameplay loop here where you'll transport thousands of commuters across a 24-mile line. You get to open and close the doors, honk the horn, pull the emergency brake, and the only thing missing is the commuters telling you doing a great job or that you should go yourself. So come get a taste of the Big Apple and learn to drive some in trains. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with this month's Quest Plus subscription titles. First up is the absolutely fantastic Rainbow Six Siege style shooter Breachers, which comes from Triangle Factory, the same studio that gave us Hyperdash and recently announced the Battlefield style shooter Forefront. Now if you're a fan of VR shooters, I'm sure you've already tried Breachers, but if by some chance you didn't and you happen to have a MetaQuest Plus subscription service, I highly recommend downloading this game right now. Additionally, Quest Plus is also getting the rhythm-style game Thrasher, which is unlike anything else you've played. You'll be controlling a worm-like creature that grows over time, and the gameplay comes down to precise timing and mastering the movement mechanics. Over time, it becomes an extremely challenging experience, and the intensity is pushed to the max with some epic visuals and a thumping soundtrack. So for the Quest Plus members out there, you just got two really good games to check out. Now before we move into the new releases, I just want to remind you guys that all dates are subject to change, and generally when I'm putting this video together, a lot of the dates have not been made public yet, so I'm unable to reveal exactly when they're dropping. But first up is your chance to build your very own epic pinball arcade with Pinball FX VR. So this is basically another one of those arcade simulator VR titles, except it focuses primarily on pinball machines. There'll be 3 tables available at launch, with a larger assortment being added over time. The game also features some daily quests, unlockable rewards, and a handful of other minigames like throwing darts. But if old school sims aren't your style, let's blast into the future with the world's most delayed time-traveling title, Wanderer Fragments of Fate. This is a remake of the epic story-driven puzzle game from back in 2022. And now it's not only coming to additional platforms, but also getting enhanced graphics, new mechanics, and additional gameplay components. Now I truly hope all those delays paid off, and if you want to hear more about this game, I will have coverage up on Friday. So make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Now for the rhythm game fans out there, we have the completely new mixed reality title, Beatable. Instead of lightsaber slicing boxes or pretending to play an instrument, now we're just tapping and snapping along to the beat right on our kitchen table. So obviously anyone could jump right into this game, and the developers have also found a simple solution to hand tracking's lack of haptic feedback. So it feels like they're truly onto something here, and who knows, maybe this is the next Beat Saber in mixed reality. Now if rhythm games are not for you, why not raise your very own hatchling dragon? Eggy lets you do just that. You'll protect and nurture an egg, and then watch it form into your new best friend in mixed reality. So do you have what it takes to raise this little guy and get him prepared for the real world? Now oddly, this reminded me of the old school Tamagotchis, just with technology that's 30 years newer and cooler. But on the topic of old stuff, we have Titanic VR. Now this originally released for PC and PlayStation VR 1 back in 2018, but now they're moving the experience over to the Quest 3. Titanic VR not only allows you to relive the tragic sinking of that ship, but also re-examine it by present-day standards via submarine. So if you enjoyed things like the Anne Frank experience, I assume you'll also enjoy this title, and it also sounds great for the history buffs out there. Well, let's move into some serious action with the zombie survival title, Silent North. Studio Combat Waffle is becoming known for taking flat screen style games and bringing them to VR. Ghost of Tabor is your escape from Tarkov, Grim is like a sci-fi version of Rust, and now their latest game, Silent North, is basically bringing the DayZ experience to VR. You'll be roaming around in post-apocalyptic suburban environments, and you'll have to scavenge for food and defend yourself from not only hordes of zombies, but also random other players who are looking to loot your stuff. Now, this definitely isn't my go-to style of game, but I'm intrigued here, and I know there's some VR players who are gonna just eat this up. But if you're craving some physics-based combat, we're also getting GORN 2. The sequel to an absolutely epic VR title is coming soon, and before you know it, we're going to be tearing gladiators apart. Now, if you never played the original game, you might not know what you're getting into. This is pretty much just pure mayhem, with both mechanics and an art style that center around zany humor. It's gory as hell with things like eyeballs popping out of the sockets and ripping the heart from someone's chest, but it's also very cartoony and not something that you should take seriously. Now, I'm sure it won't be everyone's cup of tea, but it's a really fun experience to let your stress out in. But let's completely change up the genre and move into the real-time strategy game Crystal Commanders. Jump in for some 1v1 multiplayer VR battles where you'll put your real-time strategy skills to the test by not only building up your own base in mixed reality, but also sending out your army against the enemy. I literally used to play this game in my imagination with my friends with army figures as a kid. We would set up our own base and toys around the room and then pretend to take shots at one another. Yes, life really sucked before technology. So I'm looking forward to jumping into Crystal Commander and seeing how far it surpassed my imagination. Now, another title that has me intrigued is the single-player puzzle adventure game Ghost Town. Now, I honestly get a little bit of Wanderer vibes here, but with more of a spooky rather than sci-fi theme. It's coming from the same studio that gave us the epic title The Room: A Dark Matter. They have us once again returning to London, but this time it's 1983 and you're taking on the role of a ghost hunter. If your brother goes missing, you'll have to use your wits and all of your supernatural abilities to help find him. Now, overall, it looks like a pretty epic tale, and I'll definitely make sure to keep an eye on this one. But let's jump back to another combat-oriented game with Elements Divided. Inspired by The Last Airbender, you'll work on mastering the elements like fire, earth, wind, and water. There's both online competitive and co-op modes, a full character customization system, and plenty of special abilities to unlock and master. I absolutely love the concept of this title and can't wait to see how it feels in-game. Now, I'm also less excited, but also curious to see how Alex and the Jets will feel in mixed reality. This is a casual arcade flight game where you get to steer a plane around your real-life environment, battle against enemies such as other planes or UFOs, test your skills and agility by flying through things like hoops, and just have some fun seeing things float around in your real-life environment that all the other losers who aren't wearing a quest can't see. But let's round out this video with some much bigger games, starting with the brand new DLC Into the Ether coming for Vertigo 2, which is a story expansion for the already amazing Vertigo 2. This new interdimensional expedition is coming with some cool new tools like the Void Grappler that allows you to pull yourself across the map, and there's a new defensive shield that relies on precise timing. Now, I would put money down that this is going to be a fantastic new expansion. Again, like I've said many times before on the channel, Vertigo 2 is one of my favorite all-time VR games. But for those of you who enjoy Call of Duty style games, Warriors is a new title trying to make their mark in VR. There's 7 different gameplay modes including Conquest, Rush, Kill Confirmed, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Free-for-all, Search and Destroy, and Zombie. So nothing truly unique here, but I do like the style they're going for, as this game does give me a little bit of Payday vibes. It plans to drop in early access the end of April, and there is also support for AI bots, as I'm not expecting a pcvr only title to fill up servers anytime soon. I do hope this works out though, and we soon see a new player in the VR first-person shooter arena. Now, another early access title that looks pretty badass is Secrets of Antares. Antares allows you to be one of the first humans to explore a brand new paradise planet. The title is aiming for peak VR immersion, pushing graphics to the absolute max, and allowing you to explore every inch of this planet via jetpack. Now, as it stands, I'm not actually seeing any real game mechanics, just an epic and ultra beautiful world to explore, but for many, that's a dream come true. Now, I recently played a demo of something called Golden Kingdom, which is conceptually similar. It's a few miles of ultra-realistic graphics that you can walk around and explore, which might not sound like much, but I have to say the immersion is just so damn high. But moving on to the last title that I'm very hopeful we'll see release in the month of April, we have Sid Meier's Civilization 7. This title recently released for flat screen and then announced to be coming to the Meta Quest 3. It's currently listed for a spring release, so chances might be slim on this one, but when it does eventually drop, we're gonna get an epic real-time strategy game. The flat screen port was redesigned with virtual reality in mind, as they're planning to give you a new, much more immersive way to dive into this world. This is also a level of complexity that we don't typically get from a VR title, so I'm really looking forward to see not only how good was this game ported, but everything else from the controls, the graphics, you name it. This is a new title that just made its way onto flat screen, so to see it come to VR so quickly definitely has me intrigued, and I hope this happens a lot more often with new releases. And that right there was all the new VR games dropping in the month of April. Now I'm sure we'll see a few more titles pop up here and there, and of course release dates may change, but overall things are looking pretty good. We're finally covering the RTS genre, excellent games are being remade, ported, getting new DLCs or sequels, and it looks like there's something for everyone to enjoy here. But let me know what you think about this list down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing.